A long time ago, a wise man named Solomon, the son of King David, decided to write down words of wisdom, lessons for life, and understanding. These were the Proverbs of Solomon. He wrote them so people would gain wisdom, know what is right, just, and fair, and learn to live well in this world. These Proverbs were written to teach those who are young and simple, to help them understand knowledge and good judgment so they could grow in wisdom and become wise. Even people who are already wise can read these words and become wiser. And those who are already understanding can gain guidance to understand wise sayings, deep riddles, and parables that can make a person think. Solomon said, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools hate wisdom and instruction." Then he spoke as if he was talking directly to a young person, a son or a daughter, saying, "Listen, my son, to the instruction of your father, and do not forget the teaching of your mother. These lessons will be like a beautiful crown on your head, like fine jewelry around your neck." Then Solomon warned, "My son, if sinners try to tempt you, do not go with them. If they say, 'Come with us,' let us lie in wait for someone to harm. Let us hide and ambush innocent people for no reason. Let's swallow them alive like the grave, like those who go down into the pit. We will take all their valuable things, fill our houses with stolen goods. Come and join us. Share everything with us. Do not walk with them. Do not set your foot on their path. They are running towards evil. They rush to shed blood. A bird may see a net being set and still fly into it, but these people are setting a trap for their own lives. They are greedy for money, but that greed will kill them. This is what happens to everyone who chases after riches. It takes away their life." Then wisdom itself spoke out loud, like a woman shouting in the streets. She cried out in the public square, in the busiest places of the city, at the gates where people enter. She called out and said, "How long will you who are simple love being simple? How long will mockers delight in their mocking? How long will fools hate knowledge? Come, listen to my advice, and I will pour out my heart to you and make my thoughts known. But I called out to you, and you refused to listen. I reached out my hand, and no one paid attention. You ignored all my advice and rejected every warning I gave, so I will laugh at your trouble when it comes. I will mock you when disaster strikes, when panic hits you like a storm, when trouble and distress come like a whirlwind." She warned, "Then you will call to me, but I will not answer. You will look for me, but you will not find me. Because you hated knowledge and did not choose to respect the Lord, because you would not accept my advice or pay attention to my warnings, you will eat the fruit of your own ways. You will be filled with the things you have chosen. The turning away of the simple will kill them, and the careless ease of fools will destroy them. But whoever listens to me will live in safety and will be secure without fear of harm." Solomon continued, saying, "My son, if you accept my words and store up my commands within you, if you listen closely to wisdom and set your heart on understanding, if you call out for knowledge and cry out for understanding, if you search for it as if it were silver and hunt for it as if it were hidden treasure, then you will understand the fear of the Lord, and you will find the knowledge of God. For the Lord gives wisdom, and from his mouth comes knowledge and understanding. He stores up sound wisdom for those who are right with him. He is a shield to those who walk in integrity. He guards the paths of justice and protects the way of his faithful ones." Solomon explained, "Then you will understand what is right and just and fair, every good path. For wisdom will enter your heart, and knowledge will be pleasant to your soul. Good judgment will protect you, and understanding will keep you safe. Wisdom will save you from the way of evil, from people who speak twisted things, who leave the straight path to walk in dark ways. They enjoy doing wrong. They celebrate the twisted paths they follow. Their ways are crooked, and their paths are devious." He continued, "Wisdom will also save you from the immoral woman, from the wayward woman with her seductive words, who leaves the companion of her youth and forgets the covenant she made before God. Her house sinks down to death, and her paths lead to the spirits of the dead. None who go to her come back, and they do not regain the paths of life. So Solomon urged, therefore, walk in the way of the good, and keep to the paths of the righteous. For the upright will live in the land, and those with integrity will remain in it. But the wicked will be cut off from the land, and the unfaithful will be uprooted from it. Solomon said, My son, do not forget my teaching, but let your heart keep my commands. For they will add length to your days, years to your life, and bring you peace. Let love and faithfulness never leave you. Tie them around your neck, write them on the tablet of your heart. Then you will find favor and a good name in the eyes of God and people. He spoke again, saying, Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your paths straight. Do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and turn away from evil. This will bring health to your body and strength to your bones. Then Solomon said, Honor the Lord with your wealth, with the first of everything you have. Then your barns will be filled with plenty, and your vats will overflow with new wine. He also taught, My son, do not reject the Lord's discipline, and do not be upset when he corrects you. For the Lord disciplines those he loves, just as a father disciplines the son he delights in. Solomon shared, Blessed is the one who finds wisdom, the one who gains understanding. For wisdom is more profitable than silver, and brings more gain than gold. She is more precious than rubies. Nothing you desire can compare with her. Long life is in her right hand, and in her left hand are riches and honor. Her ways are pleasant ways, and all her paths are peace. Wisdom is a tree of life to those who take hold of her, and those who hold her fast will be blessed. Solomon marveled at how the Lord founded the earth by wisdom and established the heavens by understanding. By his knowledge the deep waters burst open, and the clouds dropped down the dew. He warned again, My son, do not lose sight of wisdom and good judgment. Hold on to them. They will be life for your soul and a graceful ornament for your neck. Then you will walk on your way safely, and your foot will not stumble. When you lie down, you will not be afraid. You will lie down, and your sleep will be sweet. Do not be afraid of sudden disaster or the ruin that comes upon the wicked. For the Lord will be your confidence and will keep your foot from being caught. Then Solomon gave practical wisdom. Do not withhold good from those who deserve it when it is in your power to act. Do not say to your neighbor, Come back tomorrow and I will give it to you, when you already have it with you. Do not plan harm against your neighbor who lives trustfully beside you. Do not accuse someone for no reason when they have done you no harm. Do not envy a man of violence or choose any of his ways, for the Lord detests the perverse but takes the upright into his confidence. He ended with a powerful reminder. The Lord's curse is on the house of the wicked, but he blesses the home of the righteous. He mocks those who mock, but gives grace to the humble. The wise will inherit honor, but fools get only shame. Solomon spoke again, and this time it was like a father sitting down with his children, full of care and love in his voice. He said, Listen, my children, to the instruction of a father. Pay attention, so you may gain understanding. I give you good teaching, so do not turn away from it. When I was a young boy, I was tender and precious to my father, the only child of my mother. My father taught me, and he said to me, Let your heart hold on to my words. Keep my commands, and you will live. Get wisdom, get understanding. Do not forget my words or turn away from them. Do not abandon wisdom, and she will protect you. Love her, and she will keep you safe. Wisdom is the most important thing, so get wisdom. With all you have, get understanding. Prize her highly, and she will lift you up. Hold her close, and she will honor you. She will place a beautiful crown of grace on your head. She will give you a glorious crown. Solomon kept speaking with passion. Listen, my son, accept my words, and the years of your life will be many. I will guide you in the way of wisdom. I will lead you along straight paths. When you walk, your steps will not be hindered. When you run, you will not stumble. Hold on to instruction, do not let it go. Guard it, for it is your life. Do not set foot on the path of the wicked. Do not walk in the way of evil people. Avoid it, do not go on it. Turn away from it and keep going, for the wicked cannot sleep unless they do evil. They are robbed of sleep until they make someone fall. They eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. Then Solomon spoke with a spark of hope, saying, But the path of the righteous is like the light of dawn, shining brighter and brighter until the full day. The way of the wicked is like deep darkness. They do not even know what makes them stumble. Solomon leaned in, saying with urgency, My son, pay attention to my words. Listen closely to what I say. Do not let them out of your sight. Keep them deep in your heart, for they are life to those who find them and health to their whole body. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Put away a corrupt mouth. Keep deceitful talk far from your lips. Let your eyes look straight ahead. Fix your gaze directly before you. Consider the path of your feet, and all your ways will be established. Do not turn to the right or to the left. Keep your foot from evil. Solomon spoke again, and this time his voice was heavy with warning. My son, pay attention to my wisdom. Listen closely to my understanding, so that you may keep good judgment, and your lips may guard knowledge. For the lips of a strange woman, an immoral woman, drip honey. Her speech is smoother than oil, but in the end she is as bitter as wormwood and as sharp as a double-edged sword. Her feet go down to death. Her steps lead straight to the grave. She does not give careful thought to the path of life. Her ways wander, and she does not even know it. Solomon pleaded, Now, my sons, listen to me. Do not turn away from the words of my mouth. Keep your path far from her. Do not go near the door of her house, or you will lose your honor to others, your years to one who is cruel. Strangers will take your wealth, and your work will benefit another man's house. In the end, you will groan when your flesh and body are spent. You will say, How I hated discipline, how my heart despised correction. I did not obey my teachers or listen to my instructors. I was soon in serious trouble in front of the whole community. Then Solomon shifted his tone, guiding his sons with gentle wisdom. Drink water from your own well, running water from your own spring. Should your springs overflow into the streets, your streams of water in the public squares? Let them be for yourself alone, not for strangers with you. Let your fountain be blessed, and may you rejoice in the wife of your youth. A loving deer, a graceful doe, may her breasts satisfy you always. May you ever be captivated by her love. Then Solomon asked with a sharp question, Why, my son, be captivated by an immoral woman? Why embrace the arms of a woman who is not your wife? For a man's ways are in full view of the Lord, and he examines all his paths. The evil deeds of the wicked will trap them. The cords of their sins will hold them fast. They will die for lack of discipline, and they will be led astray by their great foolishness. Solomon spoke once more, his voice now practical and full of advice for daily living. My son, if you have put up security for your neighbor, if you have shaken hands to guarantee someone else's loan, you have been trapped by the words of your mouth. You have been caught by the words of your own lips. So do this, my son, to free yourself, for you have fallen into your neighbor's hands. Go and humble yourself. Plead with your neighbor. Do not let sleep come to your eyes or slumber to your eyelids. Free yourself like a gazelle from the hand of the hunter, like a bird from the snare of the fowler. Solomon then gave another lesson. He said, Go to the ant, you lazy person. Look at its ways and be wise. It has no commander, no overseer, no ruler, yet it stores its food in the summer and gathers its food at harvest. How long will you lie there, you lazy one? When will you get up from your sleep? A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will come upon you like a robber, and scarcity like an armed man." He continued, "A troublemaker, a wicked person, goes around with a corrupt mouth. They wink with their eyes, signal with their feet, and point with their fingers. There is deceit in their heart. They always plan evil and stir up trouble. Therefore disaster will strike them suddenly. They will be broken in an instant, and there will be no remedy." Then Solomon listed the things the Lord hates, the things that are detestable to him. He said, "There are 6 things the Lord hates, yes, 7 that are detestable to him: proud eyes, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that plans wicked schemes, feet that rush to do evil, a false witness who pours out lies, and a person who stirs up conflict among brothers." Solomon returned to his fatherly advice. "My son, keep your father's command and do not forsake your mother's teaching. Bind them always on your heart. Tie them around your neck. When you walk, they will guide you. When you sleep, they will watch over you. When you wake up, they will speak to you. For these commands are a lamp, this teaching is a light, and correction and instruction are the way to life. They will keep you from the immoral woman, from the smooth tongue of the wayward woman." He warned, "Do not lust in your heart for her beauty. Do not let her captivate you with her eyes. For a prostitute can be bought for a loaf of bread, but another man's wife hunts for a precious life. Can a man scoop fire into his lap without his clothes being burned? Can a man walk on hot coals without his feet being scorched? So is the man who sleeps with another man's wife. Whoever touches her will not go unpunished. People do not despise a thief if he steals to satisfy his hunger when he is starving. But if he is caught, he must pay back 7 times over. He may have to give up all the wealth in his house." Then Solomon ended with a powerful warning. "But a man who commits adultery has no sense. Whoever does so destroys himself. He will be beaten and disgraced, and his shame will never be wiped away. For jealousy arouses a husband's fury, and he will show no mercy when he takes revenge. He will accept no payment, he will not be satisfied, even if you offer many gifts." Solomon spoke again, this time with a deep and urgent warning. He said, "My son, keep my words. Store my commands deep inside you. Obey my instructions, and you will live. Guard my teachings like the apple of your eye. Tie them on your fingers as a reminder. Write them on the tablet of your heart. Say to wisdom, 'You are my sister,' and call understanding your closest friend. They will protect you from the immoral woman, from the stranger who uses smooth words to seduce." Then Solomon told a story, as if he had seen it with his own eyes. He said, "One day I was looking out the window of my house, through the lattice, and I saw among the simple, I noticed among the young men, a foolish one who lacked judgment. He was walking down the street near the corner where a certain woman lived. He was heading in her direction at twilight in the evening as the day faded and the dark of night began to settle in." Solomon's voice grew serious as he described what happened. "Then a woman came out to meet him. She was dressed like a prostitute with a crafty and hidden heart. She was loud and bold, never content to stay at home. One moment she was on the streets, the next in the public squares, waiting at every corner. She caught the young man and kissed him. With a shameless face, she said, 'Today I offered my sacrifices, and I have paid my vows. So I came out to meet you. I looked for you, and I found you. I have spread my bed with colorful blankets, fine linens from Egypt. I have perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Come, let us drink deep of love until morning. Let us enjoy each other's love. My husband is not at home. He has gone on a long journey. He took a bag of money with him and will not be back until the full moon." Solomon continued saying, "With persuasive words, she led him astray. She seduced him with her smooth talk. Suddenly he followed her like an ox going to the slaughter, like a deer stepping into a noose, until an arrow pierces its liver, like a bird darting into a trap, not knowing it will cost him his life. Solomon's voice grew stronger as he pleaded, "Now then, my sons, listen to me. Pay attention to the words of my mouth. Do not let your heart turn toward her ways. Do not wander into her paths. For many are the victims she has brought down. Her slain are a mighty throng. Her house is a highway to the grave, going down to the chambers of death." Then, as if a new voice filled the air, wisdom herself spoke out. She raised her voice in the streets, standing on the high places by the crossroads where paths meet. She called out near the gates at the city entrance, at the doorways. Wisdom's voice rang loud and clear, saying, "People, I call out to you. My voice is for all humanity. You who are simple, gain understanding. You who are foolish, gain wisdom. Listen, for I have noble things to say. I speak what is right. My mouth speaks the truth. My lips hate wickedness. All the words of my mouth are righteous. There is nothing crooked or twisted in them. They are clear to those who understand and right to those who have knowledge. Accept my instruction instead of silver. Take knowledge rather than choice gold, for wisdom is better than rubies, and nothing you desire can compare with her." Wisdom continued, saying, "I, wisdom, live with prudence. I possess knowledge and discretion. To fear the Lord is to hate evil. I hate pride and arrogance, evil behavior and twisted speech. Counsel and sound judgment are mine. I have understanding and power. By me kings reign and rulers make just laws. By me princes govern and nobles rule the earth. I love those who love me, and those who seek me early will find me. Riches and honor are with me, lasting wealth and righteousness. My fruit is better than fine gold. What I yield is better than the finest silver. I walk in the way of righteousness, along the paths of justice, giving wealth to those who love me, and filling their treasuries." Then wisdom spoke of her beginnings, saying, "The Lord brought me forth as the first of his works, before his deeds of old. I was formed long ago at the very beginning, before the earth began. I was born when there were no oceans, no springs filled with water. Before the mountains were settled, before the hills were formed, I was born. Before he made the earth or its fields or the dust of the world, I was there. When he set the heavens in place, I was there. When he marked out the horizon on the face of the deep, when he established the clouds above, when he gave the sea its boundary so the waters would not overstep his command. When he marked out the foundations of the earth, then I was beside him as a master worker. I was his delight every day, rejoicing always before him, rejoicing in his whole world and delighting in mankind." Wisdom ended her words with a plea, saying, "Now then, my children, listen to me. Blessed are those who keep my ways. Listen to my instruction and be wise. Do not ignore it. Blessed are those who listen to me, watching daily at my doors, waiting at my doorway. For whoever finds me finds life and receives favor from the Lord. But whoever fails to find me harms themselves. All who hate me love death." Solomon told how wisdom built her house. She had carved out 7 pillars for it. She had prepared her meat, mixed her wine, and set her table. Then she sent out her servants, and she herself called out from the highest points of the city, saying, "Let all who are simple come to my house." She spoke to those who lacked judgment, saying, "Come, eat my food and drink the wine I have mixed. Leave your simple ways, and you will live. Walk in the way of insight." Then Solomon warned, "Whoever corrects a mocker brings insult upon themselves. Whoever rebukes a wicked person invites abuse. Do not correct mockers, or they will hate you. Correct the wise, and they will love you. Teach the wise, and they will become wiser. Teach those who are righteous, and they will grow in learning. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. For through wisdom your days will be many, and years will be added to your life. If you are wise, your wisdom will reward you. If you mock, you alone will suffer." Then, like a shadow, a different voice spoke. Folly, the foolish woman, also called out. She was loud, foolish, and knew nothing. She sat at the door of her house, on a seat in the highest places of the city. She called out to those who passed by, those who were going straight on their way. She called, "Let all who are simple come in here." To those who lack judgment, she said, "Stolen water is sweet. Food eaten in secret is delicious." But Solomon ended with a chilling truth, saying, "They do not know that the dead are there, that her guests are deep in the realm of the dead." This chapter begins with a powerful statement. These are the Proverbs of Solomon. Every word here carries a weight like a pearl of wisdom from the heart of a father to his children, teaching them how to live a life that pleases God and brings true peace. Solomon said, "A wise son makes his father glad, but a foolish son brings sorrow to his mother." It is as if a father and mother sit together, watching their children grow, and when the child makes wise choices, the father smiles with pride. But when foolishness rules, the mother's heart is heavy with grief. He continued, "Treasures gained by wickedness bring no lasting gain, but righteousness delivers from death." He was telling us that chasing wealth through lies and sin leads to emptiness, but living with integrity and doing what is right will protect you from destruction. Solomon said, "The Lord does not let the righteous go hungry, but he pushes away the craving of the wicked." It is like a father who provides food for the table of the faithful, but the greedy find that their plates remain empty. He warned, "Lazy hands make a person poor, but diligent hands bring wealth." Picture a person sitting idle, while another one works with care. Solomon was saying that it is the hands that stay busy that will reap rewards. He added, "A child who gathers crops in the summer is wise, but one who sleeps during harvest is shameful." Imagine a field ready to be harvested. One child wakes early and gathers the grain while another lies in bed and misses the season. One brings joy, the other brings disgrace. Then Solomon spoke about words and hearts. Blessings crown the head of the righteous, but violence covers the mouth of the wicked. The righteous, like a tree, bloom with favor, but the wicked speak words that lead only to harm. He said, "The name of the righteous is used in blessings, but the name of the wicked will rot. Those who do good are remembered with honor, but those who do evil are forgotten, and their name decays like a dead branch." He continued, "The wise in heart accept commands, but a babbling fool will come to ruin. Wisdom listens and obeys, but the one who talks too much and refuses correction stumbles into trouble." Solomon warned, "Whoever walks with integrity walks securely, but whoever takes crooked paths will be found out." A person who lives right can sleep peacefully, but one who lives a life of lies is like a person digging a pit for themselves. He said, "Whoever winks with the eye causes trouble, but a babbling fool will come to ruin." That little sly wink, a signal of hidden schemes, will stir up trouble, and a fool's endless words will lead to disaster. He taught, "The mouth of the righteous is a fountain of life, but the mouth of the wicked conceals violence." Imagine a pure spring bubbling up with fresh water, blessing those around, but the wicked's words are like a poisoned well. He said, "Hatred stirs up conflict, but love covers all wrongs." Think of a storm rising from hate, tearing apart relationships, while love is like a warm blanket that soothes and forgives, bringing peace. Solomon said, "Wisdom is found on the lips of those who have understanding, but a rod is for the back of the one who lacks sense." A wise person speaks words that help and guide, but the fool learns by painful discipline. He added, "The wise store up knowledge, but the mouth of the fool invites ruin." The wise person is like someone gathering treasures, saving up wisdom, but the fool's mouth is a trap waiting to snap shut. Solomon said, "The wealth of the rich is their strong city, but poverty is the ruin of the poor." The rich may feel safe behind their wealth like a fortress, but poverty leaves a person exposed and vulnerable. He taught, "The wages of the righteous bring life, but the income of the wicked brings punishment." Honest work leads to life and blessing, but the money gained by wickedness carries a curse. He continued, "Whoever heeds instruction is on the path to life, but whoever ignores correction leads others astray." Listening to wise teaching lights the path, but rejecting wisdom darkens the way, not just for you, but for others who follow. Solomon warned, "Whoever hides hatred has lying lips, and whoever spreads slander is a fool." Keeping hate in your heart while pretending to be a friend is a lie, and gossip spreads like a wildfire. He added, "When words are many, sin is not far away, but the wise hold their tongue." Talking too much leads to trouble, but wisdom knows when to speak and when to be silent. He said, "The tongue of the righteous is pure silver, but the heart of the wicked is of little value." The words of the righteous shine like treasure, but the wicked's thoughts are like worthless dirt. He taught, "The lips of the righteous feed many, but fools die for lack of sense." Wise words nourish others, while fools waste away because they refuse to listen and learn. Solomon said, "The blessing of the Lord brings wealth, and he adds no sorrow with it." When God gives blessings, there is no hidden pain or trouble in it. His gifts are pure and full of joy. He warned, "Doing wrong is like a joke to a fool, but wisdom brings pleasure to a person of understanding." A fool laughs at sin, but the wise person takes joy in learning and growing. He said, "What the wicked dread will overtake them, but what the righteous desire will be granted." Those who fear judgment will face it, but those who trust in the Lord will receive their hopes. He added, "When the storm has swept by, the wicked are gone, but the righteous stand firm forever." Imagine a strong wind. When it passes, the wicked are blown away like dust, but the righteous are like strong trees, still standing tall. Solomon said, "As vinegar to the teeth and smoke to the eyes, so is the lazy person to those who send them." Just as vinegar stings and smoke burns the eyes, a lazy worker is a pain to the one who depends on them. He said, "The fear of the Lord adds length to life, but the years of the wicked are cut short." Honoring God brings long days, but the wicked's life is like a candle snuffed out too soon. He added, "The hope of the righteous brings joy, but the expectations of the wicked come to nothing." The righteous look forward to good things, while the wicked's dreams crumble into dust. He said, "The way of the Lord is a stronghold for the blameless, but it is destruction for those who do evil." The Lord's path is like a safe fortress for the righteous, but a path of ruin for the wicked. He taught, "The righteous will never be uprooted, but the wicked will not remain in the land. Like trees with deep roots, the righteous stay firm, but the wicked are plucked up and cast away." He ended this chapter by saying, "From the mouth of the righteous comes wisdom, but a corrupt tongue will be cut out. The lips of the righteous know what is acceptable, but the mouth of the wicked speaks what is twisted." Solomon began with a powerful statement. The Lord hates dishonest scales, but accurate weights are his delight. In the marketplace, people used scales to weigh silver and goods, but some used crooked weights to cheat others. Solomon was saying that God sees this, and he hates cheating, but he delights in honesty and fairness. He said, "When pride comes, then comes disgrace, but with humility comes wisdom." Pride is like a tall tree ready to fall, but humility is like a deep-rooted plant that grows strong and wise. Solomon continued, "The integrity of the upright guides them, but the crookedness of the treacherous destroys them." A person who is honest has a steady path, but someone who twists the truth will one day destroy themselves. He said, "Wealth is worthless in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivers from death." Money might seem like a fortress, but when trouble comes, it cannot save you. Only righteousness can. He explained, "The righteousness of the blameless makes their path straight, but the wicked are brought down by their own wickedness. Doing what is right clears the way like a smooth road, but the wicked trip on the traps they set for themselves." Solomon said, "The righteousness of the upright delivers them, but the unfaithful are caught by their desires. A faithful person is rescued by their right choices, but the unfaithful are trapped by the very things they long for." He warned, "When the wicked die, their hope perishes, and all they trusted in comes to nothing." They may have built their hopes on money, power, or pleasure, but it all disappears when they are gone. He said, "The righteous are rescued from trouble, and it falls on the wicked instead." Picture a storm. God lifts the righteous to safety, but the wicked are swept away. Solomon warned, "With their mouths the godless destroy their neighbors, but by knowledge the righteous are delivered." Words can be like a sword, hurting those around you, but wisdom is like a shield that protects you. He said, "When the righteous prosper, the city rejoices. When the wicked perish, there are shouts of joy." The whole community is blessed when good people thrive, but when wickedness falls, there is relief. He taught, "Through the blessing of the upright a city is built up, but by the mouth of the wicked it is torn down." A city is like a house. It stands strong when good people speak good words, but lies and slander tear it apart. Solomon warned, "Whoever shows contempt for their neighbor lacks sense, but a person of understanding holds their tongue." Wise people know when to stay silent, but fools mock and tear down others. He said, "A gossip betrays a confidence, but a trustworthy person keeps a secret." You can trust a wise person with your heart, but a gossip will scatter your secrets like the wind. He added, "Without wise leadership, a nation falls, but with many advisors, it is safe." Just like a ship needs a captain and a crew, a nation needs wise leaders to guide it. Solomon said, "Whoever puts up security for a stranger will suffer, but whoever refuses to shake hands on a pledge is safe." Be careful whom you promise to help, for some promises will lead to loss. He taught, "A kind-hearted woman gains honor, but ruthless men gain only wealth." Kindness lifts a person up, but greed brings only empty riches. He said, "Those who are kind benefit themselves, but the cruel bring trouble upon themselves." Helping others is like planting seeds that will grow back to bless you, but hurting others leads to your own harm. Solomon added, "A wicked person earns deceptive wages, but the one who sows righteousness reaps a sure reward. What you plant is what you harvest." He said, "Truly the righteous attain life, but whoever pursues evil finds death. Life flows to the righteous like a river, but evil chokes out life." He taught, "The Lord detests those with crooked hearts, but he delights in those who are blameless." God looks at the heart, and he loves honesty and hates deceit. He warned, "Be sure of this, the wicked will not go unpunished, but those who are righteous will go free. Justice is certain, even if it takes time." He said, "Like a gold ring in a pig's snout is a beautiful woman who lacks discretion." Beauty without wisdom is like a treasure in the mud, wasted and out of place. He added, "The desire of the righteous ends only in good, but the hope of the wicked leads to wrath." Solomon taught, "One person gives freely and gains even more, but another withholds unduly and comes to poverty. Generosity multiplies, but stinginess shrinks." He said, "A generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed." Helping others is like filling their cup and seeing your own filled in return. He warned, people curse the one who hoards grain, but they pray blessings on the one who is willing to sell. Greed causes others to suffer, but generosity brings favor. He said, whoever seeks good finds favor, but evil comes to those who search for it. He added, those who trust in their riches will fall, but the righteous will thrive like a green leaf. Solomon taught, whoever brings ruin on their family will inherit only the wind, and the fool will be a servant to the wise. He said, the fruit of the righteous is a tree of life, and the one who wins souls is wise. Finally, Solomon said, if the righteous receive their due on earth, how much more the wicked and the sinner? Solomon began, whoever loves discipline loves knowledge, but whoever hates correction is stupid. Discipline is like the gentle hand of a teacher, guiding you, but rejecting it is like closing your eyes in the dark. He said, good people obtain favor from the Lord, but he condemns those who plot evil. God is a friend to the righteous, but an enemy to those who plan wickedness. He taught, no one can be established by wickedness, but the righteous cannot be uprooted. Like a tree planted deep, the righteous stand firm, while the wicked are swept away. He added, a wife of noble character is her husband's crown, but a disgraceful wife is like decay in his bones. He said, the plans of the righteous are just, but the advice of the wicked is deceitful. He warned, the words of the wicked lie in wait for blood, but the speech of the upright rescues them. He continued, the wicked are overthrown and are no more, but the house of the righteous stands firm. He taught, a person is praised according to their wisdom, but those with twisted minds are despised. He said, better to be a nobody and have a servant than pretend to be somebody and have no food. He added, the righteous care for the needs of their animals, but the kindest acts of the wicked are cruel. He taught, those who work their land will have plenty of food, but those who chase fantasies have no sense. He said, the wicked desire what evil people have, but the righteous root flourishes. He continued, evildoers are trapped by their sinful talk, but the righteous escape trouble. He taught, from the fruit of their lips people are filled with good things, and the work of their hands brings them reward. He said, the way of fools seems right to them, but the wise listen to advice. He added, fools show their annoyance at once, but the prudent overlook an insult. He said, an honest witness tells the truth, but a false witness tells lies. He taught, the words of the reckless pierce like swords, but the tongue of the wise brings healing. He continued, truthful lips endure forever, but a lying tongue lasts only a moment. He added, deceit is in the hearts of those who plot evil, but those who promote peace have joy. He said, no harm overtakes the righteous, but the wicked have their fill of trouble. He taught, the Lord detests lying lips, but he delights in people who are trustworthy. He said, the prudent keep their knowledge to themselves, but a fool's heart blurts out folly. He continued, diligent hands will rule, but laziness ends in forced labor. He added, anxiety weighs down the heart, but a kind word cheers it up. He taught, the righteous choose their friends carefully, but the way of the wicked leads them astray. He said, the lazy do not roast their game, but the diligent prize their possessions. Finally he said, in the way of righteousness there is life. Along that path is immortality. Solomon continued, saying, a wise son listens to his father's instruction, but a mocker does not respond to rebuke. He said, from the fruit of their lips people enjoy good things, but the unfaithful have an appetite for violence. He added, those who guard their lips preserve their lives, but those who speak recklessly will come to ruin. He warned, the soul of the lazy craves but gets nothing, while the soul of the diligent is richly supplied. He said, "The righteous hate what is false, but the wicked make themselves a stench and bring shame." He taught, "Righteousness guards the person of integrity, but wickedness overthrows the sinner." He said, "One person pretends to be rich, yet has nothing. Another pretends to be poor, yet has great wealth." He added, "A person's riches may ransom their life, but the poor hear no threat." He said, "The light of the righteous shines brightly, but the lamp of the wicked is snuffed out." He continued, "Where there is strife, there is pride, but wisdom is found in those who take advice." He taught, "Wealth gained quickly will dwindle, but whoever gathers little by little will increase it." He said, "Hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a longing fulfilled is a tree of life." He added, "Whoever scorns instruction will pay for it, but whoever respects a command is rewarded." He taught, "The teaching of the wise is a fountain of life, turning a person from the snares of death." He said, "Good judgment wins favor, but the way of the unfaithful leads to ruin." He continued, "Every prudent person acts with knowledge, but a fool exposes their folly." He said, "A wicked messenger falls into trouble, but a trustworthy envoy brings healing." He taught, "Whoever disregards discipline comes to poverty and shame, but whoever accepts correction is honored." He added, "A longing fulfilled is sweet to the soul, but fools detest turning from evil." He said, "Walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm." He warned, "Trouble pursues the sinner, but the righteous are rewarded with good things." He added, "A good person leaves an inheritance for their children's children, but a sinner's wealth is stored up for the righteous." He said, "An unplowed field produces food for the poor, but injustice sweeps it away." He taught, "Whoever spares the rod hates their children, but the one who loves their children is careful to discipline them." Finally, Solomon said, "The righteous eat to their heart's content, but the stomach of the wicked goes hungry." Solomon spoke again, full of wisdom, saying, "A wise woman builds her house, but a foolish woman tears it down with her own hands." Imagine a woman carefully placing each brick, strengthening her home, while another, by careless choices, lets it crumble around her. He said, "Whoever walks uprightly fears the Lord, but whoever takes crooked paths despises him." A person who lives with honesty and respect honors God, but one who twists their ways shows they have no regard for him. Solomon warned, "In the mouth of a fool is a rod for their back, but the lips of the wise protect them." The fool's own words will bring them punishment, but the wise use their words to guard themselves. He said, "Where there are no oxen, the manger is empty, but from the strength of an ox comes abundant harvests." A barn without animals stays clean, but there is no harvest without hard work. He continued, "An honest witness does not lie, but a false witness breathes out lies." Truth is like a light, but lies are like smoke that blinds and chokes. He taught, "A mocker seeks wisdom and finds none, but knowledge comes easily to those who have understanding." The one who mocks never finds true wisdom, but the humble seeker gains knowledge. Solomon said, "Stay away from fools, for you will not find knowledge on their lips." Fools have nothing worthwhile to say. Do not waste time with them. He taught, "The wisdom of the prudent is to give thought to their ways, but the folly of fools is deception." A wise person thinks carefully before acting, but a fool deceives others and themselves. He added, "Fools mock at making amends for sin, but goodwill is found among the upright." Fools make light of their wrongs, while the righteous seek to make things right. He said, "Each heart knows its own bitterness, and no one else can share its joy. Only you know the depths of your sorrow and the heights of your happiness." He warned, "The house of the wicked will be destroyed, but the tent of the upright will flourish." He said, There is a way that seems right to a person, but in the end it leads to death. Some paths look easy and good, but they are a trap. He taught, even in laughter the heart may ache, and joy may end in grief. Sometimes, behind a smile, pain hides. He added, the faithless will be fully repaid for their ways, and the good rewarded for theirs. He said, the simple believe anything, but the prudent give thought to their steps. The wise test what they hear, but the gullible swallow lies. He taught, the wise fear the Lord and shun evil, but a fool is hot-headed and reckless. He warned, a quick-tempered person does foolish things, and the one who devises evil schemes is hated. He said, the simple inherit folly, but the prudent are crowned with knowledge. He taught, evil people bow down in the presence of the good, and the wicked at the gates of the righteous. He added, the poor are shunned even by their neighbors, but the rich have many friends. He said, it is a sin to despise your neighbor, but blessed is the one who is kind to the needy. He taught, do not those who plot evil go astray, but those who plan what is good find love and faithfulness. He said, all hard work brings a profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty. He warned, the wealth of the wise is their crown, but the folly of fools yields only folly. He said, a truthful witness saves lives, but a false witness is deceitful. He taught, whoever fears the Lord has a secure fortress, and for their children it will be a refuge. He said, the fear of the Lord is a fountain of life, turning a person from the snares of death. He added, a large population is a king's glory, but without subjects a prince is ruined. He taught, whoever is patient has great understanding, but one who is quick-tempered displays foolishness. He said, a heart at peace gives life to the body, but envy rots the bones. He taught, whoever oppresses the poor shows contempt for their Maker, but whoever is kind to the needy honors God. He said, when disaster comes, the wicked are brought down, but even in death the righteous seek refuge in God. He taught, wisdom reposes in the heart of the discerning, and even among fools she lets herself be known. He said, righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a disgrace to any people. He ended, a king delights in a wise servant, but a shameful servant arouses his fury. Solomon spoke again, saying, a gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. A soft voice calms the storm, but harsh words light a fire. He said, the tongue of the wise adorns knowledge, but the mouth of the fool gushes folly. He taught, the eyes of the Lord are everywhere, keeping watch on the wicked and the good. He said, the soothing tongue is a tree of life, but a perverse tongue crushes the spirit. He warned, a fool spurns a parent's discipline, but whoever heeds correction shows prudence. He said, the house of the righteous contains great treasure, but the income of the wicked brings ruin. He taught, the lips of the wise spread knowledge, but the hearts of fools are not upright. He said, the Lord detests the sacrifice of the wicked, but the prayer of the upright pleases him. He added, the Lord detests the way of the wicked, but he loves those who pursue righteousness. He taught, stern discipline awaits anyone who leaves the path. The one who hates correction will die. He said, death and destruction lie open before the Lord. How much more do human hearts? He taught, mockers resent correction, so they avoid the wise. He said, a happy heart makes the face cheerful, but heartache crushes the spirit. He taught, the discerning heart seeks knowledge, but the mouth of a fool feeds on folly. He added, all the days of the oppressed are wretched, but the cheerful heart has a continual feast. He said, Better a little with the fear of the Lord than great wealth with turmoil. He continued, better a small serving of vegetables with love than a fattened calf with hatred. He said, a hot-tempered person stirs up conflict, but the one who is patient calms a quarrel. He taught, the way of the sluggard is blocked with thorns, but the path of the upright is a highway. He said, a wise son brings joy to his father, but a foolish man despises his mother. He taught, folly brings joy to one who has no sense, but whoever has understanding keeps a straight course. He added, plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisers they succeed. He said, a person finds joy in giving an apt reply. How good is a timely word! He taught, the path of life leads upward for the prudent, to keep them from going down to the realm of the dead. He said, the Lord tears down the house of the proud, but he sets the widow's boundary stones in place. He taught, the Lord detests the thoughts of the wicked, but gracious words are pure in his sight. He said, the greedy bring ruin to their households, but the one who hates bribes will live. He added, the heart of the righteous weighs its answers, but the mouth of the wicked gushes evil. He said, the Lord is far from the wicked, but he hears the prayer of the righteous. He taught, light in a messenger's eyes brings joy to the heart, and good news gives health to the bones. He said, whoever heeds life-giving correction will be at home among the wise. He warned, those who disregard discipline despise themselves, but the one who heeds correction gains understanding. Finally, Solomon said, the fear of the Lord teaches wisdom, and humility comes before honor. Solomon taught, to humans belong the plans of the heart, but from the Lord comes the proper answer of the tongue. He said, all a person's ways seem pure to them, but motives are weighed by the Lord. He advised, commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he will establish your plans. He said, the Lord works out everything to its proper end, even the wicked for a day of disaster. He warned, the Lord detests all the proud of heart. Be sure of this, they will not go unpunished. He said, through love and faithfulness, sin is atoned for. Through the fear of the Lord, evil is avoided. He taught, when the Lord takes pleasure in anyone's way, he causes their enemies to make peace with them. He said, better a little with righteousness than much gain with injustice. He continued, in their hearts, humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps. He said, the lips of a king speak as an oracle, and his mouth does not betray justice. He added, honest scales and balances belong to the Lord. All the weights in the bag are of his making. He taught, kings detest wrongdoing, for a throne is established through righteousness. He said, kings take pleasure in honest lips. They value the one who speaks what is right. He said, a king's wrath is a messenger of death, but the wise will appease it. He added, when a king's face brightens, it means life. His favor is like a rain cloud in spring. He said, how much better to get wisdom than gold, to get insight rather than silver. He taught, the highway of the upright avoids evil. Those who guard their ways preserve their lives. He warned, pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall. He added, better to be lowly in spirit along with the oppressed than to share plunder with the proud. He said, whoever gives heed to instruction prospers, and blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord. He taught, the wise in heart are called discerning, and gracious words promote instruction. He said, prudence is a fountain of life to the prudent, but folly brings punishment to fools. He added, the hearts of the wise make their mouths prudent, and their lips promote instruction. He taught, gracious words are a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and healing to the bones. He warned, There is a way that appears to be right, but in the end, it leads to death. He said, the appetite of laborers works for them, their hunger drives them on. He added, a scoundrel plots evil, and on their lips it is like a scorching fire. He said, a perverse person stirs up conflict, and a gossip separates close friends. He warned, a violent person entices their neighbor and leads them down a path that is not good. He added, whoever winks with their eye is plotting perversity. Whoever purses their lips is bent on evil. He taught, gray hair is a crown of splendor. It is attained in the way of righteousness. He said, better a patient person than a warrior, one with self-control than one who takes a city. Finally, he said, the lot is cast into the lap, but every decision is from the Lord. Solomon spoke with wisdom, saying, better a dry crust with peace and quiet than a house full of feasting with strife. A simple meal eaten in peace is better than a feast surrounded by arguments and fights. He said, a wise servant will rule over a son who brings shame and will share the inheritance as one of the family. Wisdom can lift a humble person, while foolishness can bring a family low. He taught, the crucible is for silver and the furnace is for gold, but the Lord tests the heart. Just like fire purifies metals, God looks into the depths of our hearts and tests our character. He said, a wicked person listens to evil lips, a liar pays attention to a destructive tongue. Those who are drawn to gossip and slander reveal the darkness inside them. He warned, whoever mocks the poor shows contempt for their maker. Whoever gloats over disaster will not go unpunished. He said, children's children are a crown to the aged, and parents are the pride of their children. Grandparents feel honored by their grandchildren, and children can be proud of their parents. He taught, eloquent words are not fitting for a fool. How much worse are lying lips for a ruler? A fool's fancy words are empty, and lies from a leader are dangerous. He said, a bribe is like a charm to the one who gives it. Wherever they turn, they succeed. But Solomon was not praising bribes. He was describing how some people think they can buy their way through life. He said, whoever covers over an offense promotes love, but whoever repeats a matter separates close friends. Forgiving others brings people together, but bringing up past mistakes breaks friendships apart. He taught, a rebuke impresses a discerning person more than 100 lashes on a fool. A wise person learns from correction, but a fool never listens, no matter how much they are punished. He warned, evildoers foster rebellion against God. The messenger of death will be sent against them. He said, better to meet a bear robbed of her cubs than a fool in their foolishness. A wild, angry bear is less dangerous than a foolish person in the middle of their chaos. He warned, if anyone returns evil for good, evil will never leave their house. He said, starting a quarrel is like breaching a dam, so drop the matter before a dispute breaks out. Letting arguments grow is like breaking a dam. Once the flood begins, it cannot be stopped. He taught, acquitting the guilty and condemning the innocent, both are detestable to the Lord. He said, why should fools have money in hand to buy wisdom when they have no desire to get understanding? Some chase knowledge for appearances, but they do not truly want to learn. He said, a friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for a time of adversity. True friendship and family love are shown in times of trouble. He warned, one who has no sense shakes hands in pledge and puts up security for a neighbor. He said, whoever loves a quarrel loves sin. Whoever builds a high gate invites destruction. He taught, one whose heart is corrupt does not prosper. One whose tongue is perverse falls into trouble. He said, to have a fool for a child brings grief. There is no joy for the parent of a godless fool. He added, A cheerful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. He taught, the wicked accept bribes in secret to pervert the course of justice. He said, a discerning person keeps wisdom in view, but a fool's eyes wander to the ends of the earth. He warned, a foolish son brings grief to his father and bitterness to the mother who bore him. He said, if imposing a fine on the innocent is not good, surely to flog honest officials is not right. He taught, the one who has knowledge uses words with restraint, and whoever has understanding is even-tempered. He said, even fools are thought wise if they keep silent, and discerning if they hold their tongues. Solomon spoke again, saying, an unfriendly person pursues selfish ends, and against all sound judgment starts quarrels. Someone who cares only about themselves refuses to listen to good advice and loves to argue. He said, fools find no pleasure in understanding, but delight in sharing their own opinions. A fool does not want to learn. They only want to hear their own voice. He taught, when wickedness comes, so does contempt, and with shame comes disgrace. He said, the words of a person's mouth are deep waters, but the fountain of wisdom is a rushing stream. Words can be deep and mysterious, but wisdom flows strong and clear like a river. He warned, it is not good to be partial to the wicked and so deprive the innocent of justice. He said, the lips of fools bring them strife, and their mouths invite a beating. He added, the mouths of fools are their undoing, and their lips are a snare to their very lives. He said, the words of a gossip are like tasty morsels. They go down to the inmost parts. He taught, one who is slack in their work is brother to one who destroys. He said, the name of the Lord is a fortified tower. The righteous run to it and are safe. He added, the wealth of the rich is their fortified city. They imagine it a wall too high to scale. He taught, before a downfall the heart is proud, but humility comes before honor. He said, to answer before listening, that is folly and shame. He added, the human spirit can endure sickness, but a crushed spirit who can bear? He said, the heart of the discerning acquires knowledge, for the ears of the wise seek it out. He taught, a gift opens the way and ushers the giver into the presence of the great. He warned, in a lawsuit the first to speak seems right, until someone comes forward and cross-examines. He said, casting the lot settles disputes and keeps strong opponents apart. He added, a brother wronged is more unyielding than a fortified city. Disputes are like the barred gates of a citadel. He said, from the fruit of their mouth a person's stomach is filled. With the harvest of their lips they are satisfied. He taught, the tongue has the power of life and death, and those who love it will eat its fruit. He said, he who finds a wife finds what is good and receives favor from the Lord. He added, the poor plead for mercy, but the rich answer harshly. Finally he said, one who has unreliable friends soon comes to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. Solomon taught, better the poor whose walk is blameless than a fool whose lips are perverse. He said, desire without knowledge is not good. How much more will hasty feet miss the way? He added, a person's own folly leads to their ruin, yet their heart rages against the Lord. He taught, wealth attracts many friends, but even the closest friend of the poor person deserts them. He warned, a false witness will not go unpunished, and whoever pours out lies will not go free. He said, many curry favor with a ruler, and everyone is the friend of one who gives gifts. He taught, the poor are shunned by all their relatives, how much more do their friends avoid them? Though the poor pursue them with pleading, they are nowhere to be found. He said, the one who gets wisdom loves life. The one who cherishes understanding will soon prosper. He taught, "A false witness will not go unpunished, and whoever pours out lies will perish." He said, "It is not fitting for a fool to live in luxury. How much worse for a slave to rule over princes." He added, "A person's wisdom yields patience. It is to one's glory to overlook an offense." He taught, "A king's rage is like the roar of a lion, but his favor is like dew on the grass." He warned, "A foolish child is a father's ruin, and a quarrelsome wife is like a constant dripping of water." He said, "Houses and wealth are inherited from parents, but a prudent wife is from the Lord." He taught, "Laziness brings on deep sleep, and the shiftless go hungry." He warned, "Whoever keeps commandments keeps their life, but whoever shows contempt for their ways will die." He said, "Whoever is kind to the poor lends to the Lord, and he will reward them for what they have done." He warned, "Discipline your children, for in that there is hope. Do not be a willing party to their death." He said, "A hot-tempered person must pay the penalty. Rescue them, and you will have to do it again." He added, "Listen to advice and accept discipline, and at the end you will be counted among the wise." He taught, "Many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails." He said, "What a person desires is unfailing love. Better to be poor than a liar." He warned, "The fear of the Lord leads to life. Then one rests content, untouched by trouble." He said, "A sluggard buries his hand in the dish. He will not even bring it back to his mouth." He warned, "Flog a mocker, and the simple will learn prudence. Rebuke the discerning, and they will gain knowledge." He said, "Whoever robs their father and drives out their mother is a child who brings shame and disgrace." He added, "Stop listening to instruction, my son, and you will stray from the words of knowledge." He warned, "A corrupt witness mocks at justice, and the mouth of the wicked gulps down evil." Finally, he said, "Penalties are prepared for mockers, and beatings for the backs of fools." Solomon continued, saying, "Wine is a mocker and beer a brawler. Whoever is led astray by them is not wise." He said, "A king's wrath strikes terror like the roar of a lion. Those who anger him forfeit their lives." He taught, "It is to one's honor to avoid strife, but every fool is quick to quarrel." He said, "Sluggards do not plow in season, so at harvest time they look but find nothing." He added, "The purposes of a person's heart are deep waters, but one who has insight draws them out." He said, "Many claim to have unfailing love, but a faithful person who can find?" He taught, "The righteous lead blameless lives. Blessed are their children after them." He said, "When a king sits on his throne to judge, he winnows out all evil with his eyes." He added, "Who can say, 'I have kept my heart pure. I am clean and without sin'?" He taught, "Differing weights and differing measures, the Lord detests them both." He said, "Even small children are known by their actions, whether their conduct is pure and right." He taught, "Ears that hear and eyes that see, the Lord has made them both." He warned, "Do not love sleep or you will grow poor. Stay awake and you will have food to spare." He said, "It's no good, it's no good," says the buyer, then goes off and boasts about the purchase. He added, "Gold there is and rubies in abundance, but lips that speak knowledge are a rare jewel." He warned, "Take the garment of one who puts up security for a stranger. Hold it in pledge if it is done for an outsider." He said, "Food gained by fraud tastes sweet, but one ends up with a mouthful of gravel." He taught, "Plans are established by seeking advice. So if you wage war, obtain guidance." He warned, "A gossip betrays a confidence, so avoid anyone who talks too much." He said, "If someone curses their father or mother, their lamp will be snuffed out in pitch darkness." He added, An inheritance claimed too soon will not be blessed at the end. He taught, "Do not say, 'I'll pay you back for this wrong.' Wait for the Lord, and he will avenge you." He warned, "The Lord detests differing weights, and dishonest scales do not please him." He said, "A person's steps are directed by the Lord. How then can anyone understand their own way?" He taught, "It is a trap to dedicate something rashly and only later consider your vows." He said, "A wise king winnows out the wicked. He drives the threshing wheel over them." He added, "The human spirit is the lamp of the Lord that sheds light on one's inmost being." He said, "Love and faithfulness keep a king safe. Through love his throne is made secure." He taught, "The glory of young men is their strength, gray hair the splendor of the old." Finally he said, "Blows and wounds scrub away evil, and beatings purge the inmost being." Solomon spoke again with wisdom, saying, "The king's heart is like a stream of water directed by the Lord. He guides it wherever he pleases." Just like water flows through channels, the Lord can guide even the thoughts of kings. He warned, "A person may think their own ways are right, but the Lord examines the heart. What seems right in our own eyes may be wrong before God." He taught, "To do what is right and just is more acceptable to the Lord than sacrifice." God is pleased by a heart that seeks justice more than outward religious rituals. He said, "Haughty eyes and a proud heart, the unplowed field of the wicked, produce sin." Pride is like an empty field that grows only weeds of sin. He warned, "The plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance, but everyone who is hasty comes only to poverty." Careful planning leads to success, but rushing brings ruin. He taught, "A fortune made by a lying tongue is a fleeting vapor and a deadly snare." Ill-gotten wealth fades away and traps the soul. He said, "The violence of the wicked will drag them away, for they refuse to do what is right." He taught, "The way of the guilty is crooked, but the conduct of the innocent is upright." He said, "Better to live in a corner of the roof than share a house with a quarrelsome wife." Peace in a small space is better than fighting in a big house. He warned, "The soul of the wicked craves evil. Their neighbor finds no favor in their eyes." He taught, "When a mocker is punished, the simple gain wisdom. When a wise person is instructed, they gain knowledge." He said, "The righteous one takes note of the house of the wicked and brings the wicked to ruin." He added, "Whoever shuts their ears to the cry of the poor will also cry out and not be answered." He taught, "A gift given in secret soothes anger, and a bribe concealed in the cloak pacifies great wrath." He said, "When justice is done, it brings joy to the righteous, but terror to evildoers." He warned, "Whoever strays from the path of prudence comes to rest in the company of the dead." He said, "Whoever loves pleasure will become poor. Whoever loves wine and olive oil will never be rich." He taught, "The wicked become a ransom for the righteous, and the unfaithful for the upright." He said, "Better to live in a desert than with a quarrelsome and nagging wife." He taught, "The wise store up choice food and olive oil, but fools gulp theirs down." He warned, "Whoever pursues righteousness and love finds life, prosperity, and honor." He said, "One who is wise can go up against the city of the mighty and pull down the stronghold in which they trust." He taught, "Those who guard their mouths and their tongues keep themselves from trouble." He warned, "The proud and arrogant person, mocker is their name, behaves with insolent fury." He said, "The craving of a sluggard will be the death of him because his hands refuse to work." He taught, "All day long he craves for more, but the righteous give without sparing." He said, "The sacrifice of the wicked is detestable. How much more when brought with evil intent?" He warned, "A false witness will perish, but a careful listener will testify successfully." He said, "The wicked put up a bold front, but the upright give thought to their ways. Finally he said, There is no wisdom, no understanding, no counsel that can succeed against the Lord. The horse is made ready for the day of battle, but victory rests with the Lord. Solomon taught, A good name is more desirable than great riches. To be esteemed is better than silver or gold. A good reputation is worth more than money. He said, Rich and poor have this in common. The Lord is the maker of them all. He taught, The prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and pay the penalty. He warned, Humility and the fear of the Lord bring wealth, honor, and life. He said, In the paths of the wicked are snares and pitfalls, but those who would preserve their life stay far from them. He taught, Start children off on the way they should go, and even when they are old, they will not turn from it. He said, The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is slave to the lender. He warned, Whoever sows injustice reaps calamity, and the rod they wield in fury will be broken. He taught, The generous will themselves be blessed, for they share their food with the poor. He said, Drive out the mocker, and out goes strife. Quarrels and insults are ended. He taught, One who loves a pure heart and whose speech is gracious will have the king as a friend. He said, The eyes of the Lord keep watch over knowledge, but he frustrates the words of the unfaithful. He warned, The sluggard says, There's a lion outside. I'll be killed in the public square. He taught, The mouth of an adulterous woman is a deep pit. A man who is under the Lord's wrath falls into it. He said, Folly is bound up in the heart of a child, but the rod of discipline will drive it far away. He warned, One who oppresses the poor to increase wealth, and one who gives gifts to the rich, both come to poverty. He then shared 30 wise sayings, beginning with, Pay attention and listen to the sayings of the wise. Apply your heart to what I teach, for it is pleasing when you keep them in your heart and have all of them ready on your lips, so that your trust may be in the Lord I teach you today, even you. Solomon continued, When you sit to dine with a ruler, note well what is before you, and put a knife to your throat if you have a big appetite. Do not crave his delicacies, for that food is deceptive. He warned, Do not wear yourself out to get rich. Have the wisdom to show restraint. He said, Cast but a glance at riches, and they are gone, for they will surely sprout wings and fly off to the sky like an eagle. He warned, Do not eat the food of a begrudging host. Do not crave his delicacies, for he is the kind of person who is always thinking about the cost. Eat and drink, he says to you, but his heart is not with you. You will vomit up the little you have eaten, and will have wasted your compliments. He taught, Do not speak to fools, for they will scorn your wise words. He said, Do not move an ancient boundary stone, or encroach on the fields of the fatherless, for their defender is strong. He will take up their case against you. He taught, Apply your heart to instruction and your ears to words of knowledge. He said, Do not withhold discipline from a child. If you punish them with the rod, they will not die. Punish them with the rod and save them from death. He added, My son, if your heart is wise, then my heart will be glad indeed. My inmost being will rejoice when your lips speak what is right. He taught, Do not let your heart envy sinners, but always be zealous for the fear of the Lord. There is surely a future hope for you, and your hope will not be cut off. He said, Listen, my son, and be wise, and set your heart on the right path. He warned, Do not join those who drink too much wine or gorge themselves on meat, for drunkards and gluttons become poor, and drowsiness clothes them in rags. He said, Listen to your father who gave you life, and do not despise your mother when she is old. He added, Buy the truth and do not sell it, wisdom, instruction, and insight as well. He taught, "The father of a righteous child has great joy. A man who fathers a wise son rejoices in him." He said, "May your father and mother rejoice. May she who gave you birth be joyful." He warned, "My son, give me your heart, and let your eyes delight in my ways. For an adulterous woman is a deep pit, and a wayward wife is a narrow well. Like a bandit, she lies in wait and multiplies the unfaithful among men." He said, "Who has woe? Who has sorrow? Who has strife? Who has complaints? Who has needless bruises? Who has bloodshot eyes? Those who linger over wine, who go to sample bowls of mixed wine." He warned, "Do not gaze at wine when it is red, when it sparkles in the cup, when it goes down smoothly. In the end it bites like a snake and poisons like a viper." He said, "Your eyes will see strange sights, and your mind will imagine confusing things. You will be like one sleeping on the high seas, lying on top of the rigging. They hit me, you will say, but I'm not hurt. They beat me, but I do not feel it. When will I wake up so I can find another drink?" Solomon taught, "Do not envy the wicked. Do not desire their company, for their hearts plot violence, and their lips talk about making trouble." He said, "By wisdom a house is built, and through understanding it is established. Through knowledge its rooms are filled with rare and beautiful treasures." He taught, "The wise prevail through great power, and those who have knowledge muster their strength. Surely you need guidance to wage war, and victory is won through many advisers." He said, "Wisdom is too high for fools. In the assembly at the gate they must not open their mouths." He warned, "Whoever plots evil will be known as a schemer. The schemes of folly are sin, and people detest a mocker." He said, "If you falter in a time of trouble, how small is your strength?" He taught, "Rescue those being led away to death. Hold back those staggering towards slaughter. If you say, 'But we knew nothing about this,' does not he who weighs the heart perceive it? Does not he who guards your life know it? Will he not repay everyone according to what they have done?" He warned, "Eat honey, my son, for it is good. Honey from the comb is sweet to your taste. Know that wisdom is like honey for you. If you find it, there is a future hope for you, and your hope will not be cut off." He said, "Do not lurk like a thief near the house of the righteous. Do not plunder their dwelling place. For though the righteous fall 7 times, they rise again. But the wicked stumble when calamity strikes." He taught, "Do not gloat when your enemy falls. When they stumble, do not let your heart rejoice, or the Lord will see and disapprove and turn his wrath away from them." He warned, "Do not fret because of evildoers or envy the wicked, for the evildoer has no future hope, and the lamp of the wicked will be snuffed out." He said, "Fear the Lord and the king, my son, and do not join with rebellious officials, for those two will send sudden destruction, and who knows what ruin they can bring." He concluded the chapter with sayings of the wise, "It is not good to be partial to the wicked and so deprive the innocent of justice. Whoever says to the guilty, 'You are innocent,' will be cursed by peoples and denounced by nations. But it will go well with those who convict the guilty, and rich blessings will come on them." He said, "An honest answer is like a kiss on the lips." He taught, "Put your outdoor work in order and get your fields ready. After that, build your house." He warned, "Do not testify against your neighbor without cause. Would you use your lips to mislead? Do not say, 'I'll do to them as they have done to me. I'll pay them back for what they did.'" He ended the chapter with a lesson from the field. "I went past the field of a sluggard, past the vineyard of someone who has no sense. Thorns had come up everywhere. The ground was covered with weeds, and the stone wall was in ruins. I observed this and applied my heart to what I saw and learned a lesson from what I observed. A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will come on you like a thief, and scarcity like an armed man." This chapter begins with a new section, more Proverbs of Solomon, but these were collected and written down by the men of King Hezekiah, the king of Judah. It was as if a treasure of ancient wisdom was being uncovered and preserved for all to hear. Solomon said, "It is the glory of God to conceal a matter, but the glory of kings is to search out a matter." God's wisdom is deep and hidden, while kings are honored when they seek out the truth with diligence. He taught, "As the heavens are high and the earth is deep, so the hearts of kings are unsearchable. Just as you cannot reach the stars or dig to the center of the earth, you cannot fully understand the thoughts of rulers." He said, "Remove the dross from the silver, and a silversmith can produce a vessel." The impurities must be taken away before something precious can shine. He added, "Remove the wicked from the king's presence, and his throne will be established through righteousness." A ruler's power is stable when those around him are just and good. He taught, "Do not exalt yourself in the king's presence, and do not claim a place among great people. It is better for him to say to you, 'Come up here,' than for him to humiliate you before others. It is wise to be humble and wait to be honored." Solomon said, "What your eyes have seen, do not be quick to bring into court, for what will you do in the end if your neighbor puts you to shame? If you take your neighbor to court, handle the matter privately. Do not betray another's confidence, or the one who hears it may shame you and your reputation will never recover." He taught, "A word fitly spoken is like apples of gold in settings of silver." The right words at the right time are as beautiful as a golden fruit displayed in silver. He said, "Like an earring of gold or an ornament of fine gold is a wise rebuke to a listening ear." He taught, "Like a snow-cooled drink at harvest time is a trustworthy messenger to those who send him. He refreshes the spirit of his masters." He warned, "Like clouds and wind without rain is one who boasts of gifts never given." He said, "Through patience a ruler can be persuaded, and a gentle tongue can break a bone." Kind and patient words can accomplish what harshness never could. He taught, "If you find honey, eat just enough, too much of it, and you will vomit." Even good things must be enjoyed in moderation. He warned, "Seldom set foot in your neighbor's house. Too much of you, and they will hate you." He said, "Like a club, a sword, or a sharp arrow is one who gives false testimony against a neighbor." He warned, "Like a broken tooth or a lame foot is reliance on the unfaithful in a time of trouble." He said, "Like one who takes away a garment on a cold day or pours vinegar on a wound is one who sings songs to a heavy heart." Sometimes, cheerful words at the wrong time can feel like pain to someone who is grieving. He taught, "If your enemy is hungry, give them food to eat. If they are thirsty, give them water to drink. In doing this, you will heap burning coals on their head, and the Lord will reward you." He said, "Like a north wind that brings rain is a sly tongue that brings angry looks." He taught, "Better to live on a corner of the roof than share a house with a quarrelsome wife." He said, "Like cold water to a weary soul is good news from a distant land." He warned, "Like a muddied spring or a polluted well is a righteous person who gives way to the wicked." He said, "It is not good to eat too much honey, nor is it honorable to seek one's own honor." He ended with a vivid image. Like a city whose walls are broken through is a person who lacks self-control. Without discipline, a person's life is open to ruin, like a city with no defenses. Solomon's voice turned sharper in this chapter, full of vivid pictures about foolishness and its dangers. He began, "Like snow in summer or rain in harvest, so honor is not fitting for a fool." Just as snow does not belong in summer and rain ruins the harvest, foolishness and honor do not mix. He said, "Like a fluttering sparrow or a darting swallow, an undeserved curse does not come to rest." Words of a curse spoken without cause will not stick. He taught a whip for the horse, a bridle for the donkey, and a rod for the back of fools. Fools, like stubborn animals, need correction. He warned, "Do not answer a fool according to his folly, or you yourself will be like him. If you argue with a fool on their level, you become like them." But then he said, "Answer a fool according to his folly, or they will be wise in their own eyes." Sometimes you must correct a fool so they do not think they are clever. He taught, sending a message by the hand of a fool is like cutting off one's own feet or drinking poison. A fool cannot be trusted to deliver important words. He said, "Like the useless legs of a lame person is a proverb in the mouth of a fool." A fool may repeat wise sayings, but they do not understand them. He warned, "Like tying a stone in a sling is the giving of honor to a fool. Dangerous and reckless to honor someone who is unworthy." He said, "Like a thorn bush in a drunkard's hand is a proverb in the mouth of a fool." A drunkard holding thorns cannot control them, and a fool cannot handle wisdom. He taught, like an archer who wounds at random is one who hires a fool or a passer-by. Giving a fool responsibility is like shooting arrows without aiming. Someone will get hurt. He said, "As a dog returns to its vomit, so fools repeat their folly." A fool goes back to their mistakes again and again, never learning. He warned, "Do you see a person wise in their own eyes? There is more hope for a fool than for them." He described the lazy person, saying, "A sluggard says, 'There is a lion in the road, a fierce lion roaming the streets.'" He added, "As a door turns on its hinges, so a sluggard turns on his bed." The lazy person moves but never goes anywhere. He said, "A sluggard buries his hand in the dish. He is too lazy to bring it back to his mouth." He warned, "A sluggard is wiser in his own eyes than 7 people who answer discreetly." The lazy person thinks they know it all, even when 7 wise people say otherwise. He spoke of troublemakers. Like one who grabs a stray dog by the ears is someone who rushes into a quarrel not their own. He warned, "Like a maniac shooting flaming arrows of death is one who deceives their neighbor and says, 'I was only joking.'" He said, "Without wood, a fire goes out. Without a gossip, a quarrel dies down." He added, "As charcoal to embers and as wood to fire, so is a quarrelsome person for kindling strife." He taught, "The words of a gossip are like choice morsels. They go down to the inmost parts." He said, "Like a coating of silver dross on earthenware are fervent lips with an evil heart." Words that sound good may hide a corrupt heart. He warned, "Enemies disguise themselves with their lips, but in their hearts they harbor deceit. Though their speech is charming, do not believe them, for 7 abominations fill their hearts. Their malice may be concealed by deception, but their wickedness will be exposed in the assembly." He said, "Whoever digs a pit will fall into it. If someone rolls a stone, it will roll back on them." He ended the chapter with a sharp truth. A lying tongue hates those it hurts, and a flattering mouth works ruin. Solomon began, "Do not boast about tomorrow, for you do not know what a day may bring. You may plan for the future, but no one knows what tomorrow holds, so stay humble." He said, "Let someone else praise you and not your own mouth, an outsider and not your own lips. Do not brag about yourself, let others speak well of you." He taught, "Stone is heavy and sand is a burden, but a fool's anger is heavier than both." The weight of stone and sand is nothing compared to the heavy trouble caused by a fool's rage. He warned, "Wrath is cruel and anger is overwhelming, but who can stand before jealousy? Anger is fierce, but jealousy burns like a fire that cannot be put out." He said, "Better is open rebuke than hidden love. A friend who tells you the truth to your face cares more than someone who hides their feelings. He taught, wounds from a friend can be trusted, but an enemy multiplies kisses. A friend's correction, though it hurts, is honest and good. Beware of flattering words from someone who does not have your best interest at heart. He said, one who is full refuses honey, but to the hungry even bitter food tastes sweet. When you have everything, you might reject even the finest things, but when you are in need, even hardship can feel like a blessing. He taught, like a bird that strays from its nest is anyone who strays from home. Just as a bird is vulnerable away from its nest, a person who leaves their safe place without wisdom can find trouble. He said, perfume and incense bring joy to the heart, and the sweetness of a friend comes from their heartfelt advice. A friend's sincere words are like a sweet fragrance that lifts your spirit. He warned, do not forsake your friend or a friend of your family, and do not go to your relative's house when disaster strikes. You are better off with a neighbor nearby than a relative far away. He said, be wise, my son, and bring joy to my heart. Then I can answer anyone who treats me with contempt. Himenta. A child's wisdom gives strength to a parent when faced with criticism. He taught, the prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and pay the penalty. He warned, take the garment of one who puts up security for a stranger. Hold it in pledge if it is done for an outsider. He said, if anyone loudly blesses their neighbor early in the morning, it will be taken as a curse. There is a right time for every word. Even praise at the wrong time can feel like a burden. He taught, a quarrelsome wife is like the dripping of a leaky roof in a rainstorm. Restraining her is like restraining the wind or grasping oil with the hand. Constant arguing wears down the spirit, and you cannot stop it by force. He said, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. Good friends help each other grow stronger, like a blade sharpened by another blade. He taught, the one who guards a fig tree will eat its fruit, and whoever protects their master will be honored. Faithfulness leads to reward. He said, as water reflects the face, so one's life reflects the heart. What is inside you shapes your actions, just as a reflection shows your face. He warned, death and destruction are never satisfied, and neither are human eyes. The desire for more never ends, like an endless hunger. He taught, the crucible for silver and the furnace for gold, but people are tested by the praise they receive. Praise reveals a person's heart. Some grow proud, others stay humble. He warned, though you grind a fool in a mortar, grinding them like grain with a pestle, you will not remove their folly from them. A fool's foolishness runs deep, it cannot be beaten out. He said, be sure you know the condition of your flocks. Give careful attention to your herds, for riches do not last forever, nor a crown endure to all generations. Take care of what you have today, because wealth fades and the kingdoms fall. He taught, when the hay is removed and new growth appears, and the grass from the hills is gathered in, the lambs will provide you with clothing, and the goats with the price of a field. You will have plenty of goat's milk to feed your family and to nourish your female servants. Solomon taught, the wicked flee though no one pursues, but the righteous are as bold as a lion. Fear haunts the guilty, but those who live right are fearless. He said, when a country is rebellious, it has many rulers, but a ruler with understanding and knowledge maintains order. He warned, a ruler who oppresses the poor is like a driving rain that leaves no crops. A harsh leader destroys what the people need to live. He taught, those who forsake instruction praise the wicked, but those who heed it resist them. He said, evildoers do not understand what is right, but those who seek the Lord understand it fully. He taught, Better the poor whose walk is blameless than the rich whose ways are perverse. He warned, a discerning son heeds instruction, but a companion of gluttons disgraces his father. He said, whoever increases wealth by charging interest gathers it for another, who will be kind to the poor. He warned, if anyone turns a deaf ear to the law, even their prayers are detestable. He said, whoever leads the upright along an evil path will fall into their own trap, but the blameless will receive a good inheritance. He taught, the rich are wise in their own eyes. One who is poor and discerning sees how deluded they are. He said, when the righteous triumph, there is great elation, but when the wicked rise to power, people go into hiding. He warned, whoever conceals their sins does not prosper, but the one who confesses and renounces them finds mercy. He said, blessed is the one who always trembles before God, but whoever hardens their heart falls into trouble. He warned, like a roaring lion or a charging bear is a wicked ruler over a helpless people. He said, a tyrannical ruler practices extortion, but one who hates ill-gotten gain will enjoy a long reign. He taught, anyone tormented by the guilt of murder will seek refuge in the grave. Let no one hold them back. He said, the one whose walk is blameless is kept safe, but the one whose ways are perverse will fall into the pit. He warned, those who work their land will have abundant food, but those who chase fantasies will have their fill of poverty. He said, a faithful person will be richly blessed, but one eager to get rich will not go unpunished. He taught, to show partiality is not good, yet a person will do wrong for a piece of bread. He warned, the stingy are eager to get rich and are unaware that poverty awaits them. He said, whoever rebukes a person will in the end gain favor rather than one who has a flattering tongue. He warned, whoever robs their father or mother and says it's not wrong is partner to one who destroys. He said, the greedy stir up conflict, but those who trust in the Lord will prosper. He taught, those who trust in themselves are fools, but those who walk in wisdom are kept safe. He said, those who give to the poor will lack nothing, but those who close their eyes to them receive many curses. Finally, he said, when the wicked rise to power, people go into hiding, but when the wicked perish, the righteous thrive. Solomon began, whoever remains stiff-necked after many rebukes will suddenly be destroyed, without remedy. He taught, when the righteous thrive, the people rejoice. When the wicked rule, the people groan. He warned, a man who loves wisdom brings joy to his father, but a companion of prostitutes squanders his wealth. He said, by justice a king gives a country stability, but those who are greedy for bribes tear it down. He warned, those who flatter their neighbors are spreading a net for their feet. He taught, evildoers are snared by their own sin, but the righteous shout for joy and are glad. He said, the righteous care about justice for the poor, but the wicked have no such concern. He warned, mockers stir up a city, but the wise turn away anger. He said, if a wise person goes to court with a fool, the fool rages and scoffs, and there is no peace. He taught, the bloodthirsty hate a person of integrity and seek to kill the upright. He said, fools give full vent to their rage, but the wise bring calm in the end. He warned, if a ruler listens to lies, all his officials become wicked. He said, the poor and the oppressor have this in common. The Lord gives sight to the eyes of both. He taught, if a king judges the poor with fairness, his throne will be established forever. He warned, a rod and a reprimand impart wisdom, but a child left undisciplined disgraces its mother. He said, when the wicked thrive, so does sin, but the righteous will see their downfall. He taught, "Discipline your children, and they will give you peace. They will bring you the delights you desire." He warned, "Where there is no revelation, people cast off restraint, but blessed is the one who heeds wisdom's instruction." He said, "Servants cannot be corrected by mere words. Though they understand, they will not respond." He warned, "Do you see someone who speaks in haste? There is more hope for a fool than for them." He said, "A servant pampered from youth will turn out to be insolent." He taught, "An angry person stirs up conflict, and a hot-tempered person commits many sins." He warned, "Pride brings a person low, but the lowly in spirit gain honor." He said, "The accomplices of thieves are their own enemies. They are put under oath and dare not testify." He taught, "Fear of man will prove to be a snare, but whoever trusts in the Lord is kept safe." He warned, "Many seek an audience with a ruler, but it is from the Lord that one gets justice." Finally, Solomon said, "The righteous detest the dishonest. The wicked detest the upright." Chapter 30. This chapter begins with the sayings of Agur, son of Jakeh, a man of wisdom and humility. He spoke his words as a prophecy, as a man who saw the greatness of God and the smallness of himself. Agur began by saying, "I am weary, God, but I can prevail." Then he spoke from his heart, saying, "Surely I am more stupid than any other man, and I do not have human understanding. I have not learned wisdom, nor do I have knowledge of the Holy One." Agur asked deep questions that humbled the mind. Who has gone up to heaven and come down? Who has gathered the wind in his hands? Who has wrapped up the waters in a cloak? Who has established all the ends of the earth? What is his name, and what is the name of his son? Surely you know. Then Agur declared, "Every word of God is flawless. He is a shield to those who take refuge in him. Do not add to his words, or he will rebuke you and prove you a liar." He prayed, saying, "Two things I ask of you, Lord. Do not refuse me before I die. Keep falsehood and lies far from me. Give me neither poverty nor riches, but give me only my daily bread. Otherwise I may have too much and disown you and say, 'Who is the Lord?' Or I may become poor and steal, and so dishonor the name of my God." Agur warned, "Do not slander a servant to their master, or they will curse you, and you will pay for it." He spoke of generations with a sense of sorrow. There are those who curse their fathers and do not bless their mothers. There are those who are pure in their own eyes, yet are not cleansed of their filth. There are those whose eyes are ever so haughty, whose glances are so disdainful. There are those whose teeth are swords, whose jaws are set with knives, to devour the poor from the earth and the needy from among humanity. Agur spoke of the never-ending hunger of the world, saying, "The leech has two daughters. Give, give," they cry. There are three things that are never satisfied, four that never say, "Enough." The grave, the barren womb, land that is never satisfied with water, and fire that never says, "Enough," he warned. The eye that mocks a father and scorns obedience to a mother will be pecked out by the ravens of the valley and eaten by vultures. Agur then marveled at the mysteries of life, saying, "There are three things that are too amazing for me, four that I do not understand: the way of an eagle in the sky, the way of a snake on a rock, the way of a ship on the high seas, and the way of a man with a young woman." He taught, "This is the way of an adulterous woman. She eats and wipes her mouth and says, 'I have done nothing wrong.'" Agur spoke of things that shake the earth, saying, "Under three things the earth trembles, under four it cannot bear up: a servant who becomes king, a fool who is full of food, an unloved woman who is married, and a servant girl who displaces her mistress." He then marveled at small creatures, saying, "Four things on earth are small, yet they are extremely wise. Ants are creatures of little strength, yet they store up their food in the summer. Hyraxes are creatures of little power, yet they make their home in the rocks. Locusts have no king, yet they advance together in ranks. A lizard can be caught with the hand, yet it is found in kings' palaces. Agur spoke of things that move with confidence. There are 3 things that are stately in their stride, 4 that move with stately bearing. A lion, mighty among beasts, who retreats before nothing, a strutting rooster, a male goat, and a king secure against revolt. He ended with this warning: if you play the fool and exalt yourself, or if you plan evil, clap your hand over your mouth. For as churning cream produces butter, and as twisting the nose produces blood, so stirring up anger produces strife. Chapter 31. This chapter is the prophecy of King Lemuel, taught to him by his mother. It is a mother's wisdom, spoken from the heart to her son, the king. She began, "Listen, my son. Listen, son of my womb. Listen, my son, the answer to my prayers." She warned him, "Do not spend your strength on women, your vigor on those who ruin kings." She was telling her son that chasing after women without wisdom would destroy him. She said, "It is not for kings, Lemuel. It is not for kings to drink wine, not for rulers to crave beer, lest they drink and forget what has been decreed, and deprive all the oppressed of their rights. Let beer be for those who are perishing, wine for those who are in anguish. Let them drink and forget their poverty, and remember their misery no more." She taught him, "Speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, for the rights of all who are destitute. Speak up and judge fairly. Defend the rights of the poor and needy." Then King Lemuel's mother described the picture of a noble woman, a wife of noble character. She asked, "A wife of noble character, who can find? She is worth far more than rubies." She spoke of her strength. Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. She said, "She selects wool and flax and works with eager hands. She is like the merchant ships, bringing her food from afar." She continued, "She gets up while it is still night. She provides food for her family and portions for her female servants." She said, "She considers a field and buys it. Out of her earnings she plants a vineyard." She described her strength, saying, "She sets about her work vigorously. Her arms are strong for her tasks." She said, "She sees that her trading is profitable, and her lamp does not go out at night." She taught, "In her hands she holds the distaff and grasps the spindle with her fingers. She opens her arms to the poor and extends her hands to the needy." She said, "When it snows, she has no fear for her household, for all of them are clothed in scarlet." She spoke of her care. "She makes coverings for her bed. She is clothed in fine linen and purple." She described her husband. Her husband is respected at the city gate, where he takes his seat among the elders of the land. She said, "She makes linen garments and sells them, and supplies the merchants with sashes." She described her character. "She is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come." She said, "She speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue." She continued, "She watches over the affairs of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness." She described the praise she receives. "Her children arise and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her, saying, 'Many women do noble things, but you surpass them all.'" She taught, "Charm is deceptive, and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised." Finally she said, "Honor her for all that her hands have done, and let her works bring her praise at the city gate." This is the end. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It really helps share God's Word with more people. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on all notifications so you never miss out on powerful biblical teachings. Thanks for watching, and until next time, God bless you.